This is the screen for my Linux test machine, which I'm sure you won't be able to see really with this camera. Maybe you can just see the blinking hard drive light, but spec-wise, this is what's in it right now. Go ahead and take a look. You might not even be able to read it with this camera, but it's a Core 2 Duo E8400 CPU with 8 gigs of RAM. It's DDR2, I think it might be DDR2 800, but it might only be 667. And this is the benchmark score using Geekbench 5, the trial version. I'll post a link in the video description, assuming that these links don't expire, and you can go ahead and take a look at the more detailed specs for yourself. But that's the single core performance, and that is the multi-core. We're going to take this thing out and give it a little bit of an upgrade. Here's the new board. This is actually an Asus P8Q77M. I'm not sure if you'll be able to read it with this camera. If it would focus, you might. You can just barely see their P8Q77M. It's got an Intel Core i5-3570 CPU. Right now it's only got 4 gigs of RAM on it, but it will be getting upgraded to 8 once my replacement RAM kit actually gets here. This is kind of hard to replace RAM when your upgrade kit is not even in your possession. But the one concern that I've got is this heatsink going to actually clear this case? I guess we're going to find out. Here's a quick look at the old board, the DQ45CB, before I pull it out, with a slightly low profile heatsink, because of course the E8400 CPU doesn't need much. Now my other big issue is that this power supply only has a P4 power connector, and the new board needs an EPS 12 volt connector, and I don't actually have a small form factor power supply that's got an EPS 12 volt connector. So hopefully it will be okay with just the 4 pins. I think because it's not like an i7 or anything like that, it should be alright. But I guess we'll see. I'm also kind of tempted to maybe upgrade the RAM a little bit, although I think the stick has gone bad. I tried putting another system in it, it wouldn't post. So I guess we'll see what happens. Alright, I've installed the new I/O plate. You can see it back there. I had to make a case mod because this has a 3-pin power LED connection. The motherboard only supports 2 pins, so I've just moved the pin over, and hopefully that's going to work. There is the new board in place. No concern about clearance. Got plenty of room. I did go ahead and change that RAM, but I really have my doubts that it works, so I guess we'll wait and see on that one. Okay, I've got it at least temporarily hooked up. I did just power it on, give it a quick little test, and that 8GB memory module does not work. It just gave me a little red light over by the Mem OK button. And that red light never went off, so I'm guessing that that RAM is no good. So, oh well, back to 4 gigs. Now let me hook up all the rest of this crap and see if any of that works. I think everything's plugged in. I'm going to worry about putting the cover and the screws back on after I see this thing work. So I did just hit the power button. You get a power on self-test. The nice thing about this is that, well, you can't even see it, but I don't have to use the DVI to VGA adapter anymore. I could just use straight VGA, which is good because that's what the connector on the monitor is. So we'll make sure that it boots, then I'll shut it down, put it back, and we can run our benchmark again. You always gotta love it when computer hardware decides to be a pain for no reason whatsoever. It's not like that's a tight fit. There's plenty of space and plenty of connector length, but yet apparently it doesn't want to work. Oh well, I made it work, doggone it. So here it is. Now I gotta come in here, and the mouse is not even working. course it's not working, even though there's no reason for it not to. We're going to go to advanced mode. Yes, I want advanced mode, because advanced mode actually works. And, yeah, this is your classic BIOS. I probably didn't even show any of that. Whatever, it doesn't matter. What is wrong with this mouse? Seriously. This is terrible. This is terrible. I can't use this. Ugh. Oh my god, really? Come on. So we'll use the keyboard, fine. Or maybe we won't use the keyboard because the keyboard doesn't even work. Figures. Let me wrangle my hardware into some semblance of working, and I will be right back. Okay, I've made a little bit of configuration. Save changes and exit. Save changes and exit. Yes. Hopefully the keyboard and mouse will work better when we're in Linux, because this is kind of ridiculous. Otherwise, I think I'm going to have to move that receiver. Alright, Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Or maybe I just need to change the batteries in my keyboard and mouse. I don't know. So I'm going to let it boot, and I will check some things out. Okay, not that you'll be able to read anything with this camera, but we are now running with the i5 3570 CPU, 4 cores. Unfortunately, yes, it's only got 4 gigs of RAM, but eventually we'll be getting 8. So now we're going to go and... Geekbench, yeah, no. Geekbench. I think I am going to have to do something about this keyboard and mouse combo. We'll see how long this takes to run. It really does take a sweet time to get started. Holy crap. Okay, that's much faster. At least that was. So we'll see what kind of score we get. Alright, so keep in mind these were the original scores. Check this out. Oh, I gotta move the right mouse in order to go over to it, right? Check out the improvement on that. That's ridiculous. So, yeah, I might not even need the extra RAM, but I'll give it 8 gigs anyway, just because it is 64-bit. So, anyway, I think that's it for this. So, thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. Hope to see you next time. Till then.